月が満ちて呼び覚ました融和するディラークすべては願いの種
Hey everybody, welcome back. Today we're taking a look at what I think is a criminally overlooked 2D fighter for the Xbox 360, and that's Phantom Breaker, which was released in 2011 and developed by 5PB, and I've covered some of their shooters in the past, most notably the very awesome Bullet Soul games, but this was my first experience with a game of theirs that wasn't a shooter, and I was pleasantly surprised by just how good it is. This is a game, or a collection of games actually, that unfortunately never left Japan. There were plans at one point to publish Phantom Breaker in North America, but that unfortunately never came to fruition. So just like Ogon Musokyoku X and Arcana Heart 3, this is another 2D fighter for the 360 that was denied to Western gamers. As for the story, Phantom Breaker is pretty bare bones. A fighting tournament with a mystery host is being held in Tokyo, and the winner gets any one wish granted. Luckily, this is a fighting game, so the plot isn't terribly important. What is important is gameplay, and Phantom Breaker takes a very different approach to 2D fighting than I was accustomed to. It does away with all of the traditional fighting game special attacks and instead goes for a combo-centered gameplay style that actually mirrors 3D fighters in its controls. Each of your 3 basic attack buttons can be linked into combos with the others, and the combo system in Phantom Breaker is actually pretty deep. You can start with your basic 3-hit combos and work your way up to combos that essentially never end, and you can top them off with special attacks and super combos, which are also really easy to execute. All special attacks are assigned to one button, and by combining that button with directional button presses, you get different results. Likewise, super combos are executed with a single button press, and depending on when you press it and how much energy you have in your super combo meter dictates which attack you'll perform. You can also use your super meter to slow down time for your opponent, perform combo breakers, and temporarily boost your performance, again depending on how much energy you have available.
Get ready, fight!
There are 10 playable characters in Phantom Breaker, and each one has their own strengths and weaknesses, and manages to feel unique despite the fact that the same control scheme applies to everybody. On top of that, there are multiple gameplay styles to choose from that give you either a greater emphasis on speed or power, which is a great way to get a little more mileage out of a somewhat slim roster. One thing I can definitely say about this game is that it plays very fast and frantic. It really is just a stream of one crazy combo after the other, which is more or less the standard for 2D fighters these days, but the control scheme here definitely makes it feel a lot smoother than other games. It has a flow to it that isn't very common in other 2D fighters, so I think it offers a unique gameplay experience. Beyond that, it's also just a lot of fun. So in terms of gameplay alone, Phantom Breaker is great. This is a fighter that I can spend hours with just working out combos and running through the arcade and story modes with each character. The graphics and sound in Phantom Breaker are also really good, which is a trend I've noticed with 5PB games, is that they have a real knack for 2D graphics. All of the characters have a heavily anime-inspired look to them. A lot of waifu-style characters here, but they're all very detailed, and features some interesting designs, and the animation in this game is very smooth as well. The stages, I think, though, leave a little something to be desired in terms of detail and color. They're all based on real-life locations around Tokyo, so you don't get a lot of crazy fantasy environments to fight in. The stages that are here don't look bad, really, just nothing I'd call impressive. As usual, though, for a 5PB game, Phantom Breaker has an awesome soundtrack. 5PB doubles as a record label, so that's not really surprising. Lots of great techno, rock, and J-pop tracks all throughout the game, which fit both the look and the gameplay really well. Plus, the sound effects are good, and you even get some decent voice work, though it is all in Japanese, of course. So on top of its great gameplay, this is just an all-around well-made game with some nice graphics and great sound. Again, it's a real shame that this one wasn't ported to the West. So this is a really fun 2D fighter, and one I'd recommend to fans of the genre. It's a very affordable game at about $10 online, and for that price you really can't go wrong. It's not region free, unfortunately, but for an extra $10 you can pick up Phantom Breaker Extra, which features more characters and updated gameplay. It's available for the 360 and the PS3, and both versions are region free. If you're a 2D fighting fan and looking for something new, then this underrated gem should be right up your alley. It's Phantom Breaker, and it's awesome.